Because I will tell you this. If you make that a common practice, this community will call you out.
Yeah, they will.
And you will be known as the bidder who is not paying for your books. There you go. So that's my first 5. I'll take these down.
All right.
You can go ahead and show yours.
I figured I'd bring...
That sounded kind of weird.
I figured I'd...
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 82 of the new Coffee and Comic Show. I'm just going to put new in there. Why not? I like saying new.
Why not?
It's a new episode. There you go. As you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how are you doing?
I'm doing well today. I'm a little, a little laughed up. That's okay. But I'm ready for the show.
What does that mean?
I don't even know, man. I'm just having a good time already.
Okay, yeah, we're already having a good. I guess it's a good time.
I guess. Yeah.
But we always start off with the coffee that we're drinking today, and the coffee is brought to you by not Mocha Express.
Not this time.
Because you brought some coffee over.
I did.
And tell me about this coffee that you brought.
So this is from a company in Massachusetts. It's called Concord, and they make some pretty good ground cold brew. Okay. And so I used it in my cold brew maker. I told you last week I'd bring you some. Yeah. And it's just a regular medium roast. Okay. And let me know what you think of it.
All right, so I'm going to taste mine right now. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you if it's any good.
All right.
You didn't do anything to this.
I didn't.
You didn't put like alcohol or stuff in there. No, nope. So it's just straight coffee.
Just straight coffee.
All right. Not bad.
Not bad? You like
I
that?
like it.
Cool, man.
It's got a little bit of bite to it.
It's completely undiluted. You're drinking it straight. So
yeah, I took a nice big sip.
Yeah,
I wanted to get the full effect of it. And so far, so good.
Glad you like it, man.
Kind of tastes like barley.
Barley?
I don't even know what that is. But it kind of tastes like that.
Maybe that was the beer I put in.
I've heard people say barley before, and I think that's what it tastes like.
All right.
If I had to describe it, that's the word I would use.
So my cold brew tastes like hay. All right.
Is that what it is?
No,
okay, well, so you're drinking the same thing?
I'm drinking the same thing, except in mine I put some sugar-free salted caramel sweetener inside of it.
There you go.
And I've already had 2 this morning, so I'll probably be bouncing off the walls by the time the show's over with. So there you go.
That's good. There you go. Look at that. He brings me coffee, homemade, all that good stuff.
Told you I would.
I like it. Thank you. And I don't get to keep the cup. You pointed that out as soon as you walked in the door.
That's my wife's cup, and I'd rather hurt your feelings than get a beat from my wife.
I understand. That's okay. But let's talk about today really quick. We got a great subject that we're going to cover. We're going to cover auctions, and we'll put a timestamp into that on the below if you want to check that out. But if you want to hang out with us, you can and learn a little bit more about us. We encourage you to do so. I want to say thank you to all the new Patreons that have joined. We had a bunch join just last week. Let me run down the names. Edwin Vasquez, Becky, I don't know what Becky that is. I think I might know who it is. And then we have Jack B, Brian Criswell, Woody Warren, and a special thanks to Brett F. He actually raised his contribution. I didn't even know you could do that. But thank you to the new ones and also Brett F. Very much appreciated. If you want to join our Patreon, it's $3.99 a month. It's the price of 1 comic book a month. If you think we bring the value worth 1 comic book, please join us. It keeps the lights on and the camera rolling. I also want to say thank you to a bunch of people from last week. I was on a bunch of shows, and I want to run them down. Hydra Collectables, I was on his show, and I believe that's premiering today on Monday. I was on Biggieshaq show earlier last week. That was a lot of fun. And then I was on a podcast called Plus Ultra. I enjoyed that, and you can find that on Spotify and a bunch of other I don't even know how podcasts work, to be honest. But you can find them on all the different podcast platforms. And then this week, I think I'm on Pop Culture Philosophers with Robbie, and we're talking about alien abduction and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's the Teen Dog Shades or whatever it is. He said he told me all I had to do is bring some sunglasses. I can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And also another announcement really quick. We're not going to have a coffee video next week. Bob is busy. He's tied up, and I'm actually going to be going out of town and going to be visiting some family, hopefully. So next week there will be no coffee video, but I will have another video in its place that will come out on Monday morning at 5 o'clock the same time this one does.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's go ahead and jump to our first 5.
Yeah.
And I will start off first. And this is the only book I got last week. It's Batman Superman number 9.
All right.
That was the only one in my box. Only one on my pull list I got. There you go. That's my first one. And then I got some oldies. This is Shadow number 11, I believe.
Nice.
The marker's crossing out the number. This is number 10. And then I have Iron Man number 164. I just grabbed some books.
Nice.
Bob said it didn't matter. The Mighty Thor number 197. There you go. So that's my first 5. I'll take these down.
All right.
You can go ahead and show yours.
I figured I'd bring...
That sounded kind of weird.
I figured I'd bring some Flash this week. And so I got Flash number 253. By the way, some of these are recent pickups. Let me put my glasses on. That would probably help, huh?
You look better with your glasses on.
Thank you very much. And then I got Flash number 221. I like that cover. And then we got Flash number 249.
I didn't know you had these.
No. And then Flash number 217. I actually have a lot of Flash in my collection.
Wow.
And then this one is a recent pickup. I'm probably going to send this one in to get slabbed. It's one of the nicer copies I've seen, but it's Flash number 175, and that's the second time that him and Superman race.
Who wins?
What's that?
Who wins?
You got to read.
Come on, man. Just tell me.
You don't know who wins?
Just spoil it. It's been out for like 100 years. Just tell me.
I don't remember.
Shit.
Oops. So that was my first 5.
Those are pretty good. I'm a big Flash fan, so that's awesome. But let's go ahead and get to our topic of the week. And we asked this on a preview video from last week, and the topic was about online comic book auctions. Are they legit? Are they kind of fishy? There's a lot of different comments on this, a lot of different points of view, and we wanted to hear from them. Real quick, the only reason I would bring this topic up is because I've done auctions before, and I like to talk about stuff I have some experience in, so that's why we're bringing this topic up. We haven't done an auction for quite some time. I might do some more in the future, but I'll tell you my opinion on it as we go on in the comments. So you are up first there, Bob.
Sure thing. First one comes from D. Metz. D, thank you very much. He says, I have been involved in some auctions where I feel like prices were inflated by shill bidders. Some seem legit, but the ones that just throw out issues quickly neglect to mention condition. I've gotten screwed by stores that are giving good prices, but the condition is very fine at best. These are newer issues. I think some stores or people are unloading stuff that would be desirable, but they can't get the money for it in its condition, so they throw it out for auction. For the most part, they're legit, but lag is an issue, and I have lost a lot of issues I want due to speed of connection. I'd rather just pay more for a reliable source like my local shop.
There's a couple things in here I want to hit.
Sure.
And the first thing is the shill bids.
Yeah.
Or the fake bids, whatever you want to call them. And here's the thing. How do you prove it? How do you prove it's a fake bid? I'm sure it exists, and I mean, I'm almost confident it exists. But on the other side, how do you prove that that's what's going on? You really don't.
Right.
My feeling on those is obviously they are there to drive up the price of the book. Just be mindful of what you buy and what you want to spend on that book. If there is shill bidding going on, the more than likely it'll drive up that price out of the range that you want to pay, and don't pay it. Okay? And then if it is a shill bid and nobody else bids on it, they just lost out on making money on that book.
Right.
Like I said, I can't prove that it's going on, but I've heard a lot of people mention it. It was actually in a lot of the comments as well. But it's kind of fishy, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this subject, because you do hear a lot of that. And here's the thing. I've had auctions, and I've had bids come in from people I've never seen before. And I've been like, oh, I don't know if that's legit, Right. And I've had other people that I know that are in the auction with me say, oh, this guy just kept on bidding up and up and up, and I stopped bidding, because I didn't think it was a real bidder. And then I was in the same boat. I was like, yeah, it might be a fake bidder. And then like 10 minutes later, the payment comes through.
Right.
And, it's an actual person on the other end. And I didn't know that, because, I'm at a different thing where I have a lot of subscribers and stuff. And, if you look at like 10 or 11,000 subscribers, there's no way I could recognize every single one of them.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people that just watch auctions, and I'm not familiar with their comments or their name because I don't see them a lot.
Sure.
But I get people's, initial reaction, And I remember when that happened. And I remember talking to the guy on the phone later that day. He's like, yeah, I wasn't going to outbid that bidder because I thought it was a fake or whatever. And as we were on the phone, that payment came through. And he was shocked. He's like, really? I go, yeah. I don't even know who the guy is. But he paid, you know. So, but it definitely is a problem. And you know what? Set your guidelines to what you want to pay on books and just follow that and don't get carried away.
Absolutely.
Have you experienced that at all?
You know, I don't have a whole lot of experience with auctions, but I've often wondered. There are a couple of times where I'm noticing that bidding is getting pushed up, and it seems to be like it's always the same person, but I don't ever see that person winning anything, and I'm like,
yeah,
are they really, you know? And so I've often wondered, you know, for me, because of the fact that I'm so new at it, I try to pick sites that I know are legit or people have, you know, given me some feedback on them, like yours. Right, I know you, but when it comes to you know, other people's channels, I got to be careful because I just don't have that much experience with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. He also mentions the lag in the like the chat, and that's honestly, I don't know how to fix that. I don't think anybody does. That's a connection issue, depending on the auctioneer's connection, depending on your connection. It's affected my auctions. I at least will miss 2 or 3 bids, you know, on some items because the lag, it just doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a better way to fix that.
You know, one of the things that I do, because I have lost a few things to, you know, to my connection being that way, and because of the fact that I have my phone, and I also have my laptop. And then my wife has her laptop. Sometimes I'll open it up on all 3. Yeah. And I'll pick the one that seems to be the fastest one.
Mine seems to be the phone.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. It seems like the words are coming out of there sooner than what it's coming out of my laptop. Yeah. And so I usually stick with my phone. There's a couple times where I've actually had to use my wife's laptop. Yeah. That's the only way I've been able to figure out how to somewhat, you know, circumvent that. That doesn't mean that my connection is truly better on there, but it's better than the other 2.
Yeah, I know your connection. It's not that great.
Well, thanks.
But you know, with the platform that most people use, StreamYard, there is quite a bit of lag on when the chat pops up, you know, that we're looking at on our end on the screen. And I have noticed that on my phone, the chat will show up about 30 seconds before it actually shows up on the screen. So like I said, my phone has worked the best. So if you're having issues, try using your cell phone. Maybe that will make a difference.
Yeah. I lost a really good book just the other night because I was lagging, and I'm like, I got it. You know? And sorry we didn't see your comments come in, and so I was bummed, but it's part of the game, and so
I'm all for sniping and stuff like that. Right. But you know, if you have that set amount that you want to spend, put it out there just so you don't miss it.
Sure.
So. All right, Bob, you're up for the next one as well.
Sure. This one comes from Comic Book Poser. He says, in terms of auctions, I think they are legitimate if the seller has been doing it for a while. I'm always looking at folks who have some sort of feedback and or folks in the chat who vouch for them. I also am a big fan of folks who offer a free refund or make it right if you feel like what you get doesn't match the quality of what they've described.
Refunds are great, and obviously through PayPal you can guarantee when you're sending money and you get a refund and stuff, which is probably the best option you should be using when you're doing online auctions. But one thing I want to talk about is clear guidelines and rules that you put in place for the auction. Yeah. Like you should have it stated, if there is a problem, we offer a refund, okay? Or send it back, we'll send you the refund. Because there's scams on both ends. I mean, there could be a scam to where you bought something and the seller didn't quite describe it the way it was, and then you get it and you're like, man, this isn't what I bought. And on the other end, there's the guy who bought it who gets it's like, man, I'm going to tell him that this book is broken or is not good, even though it is. And they're like, give me a refund, even though there's nothing wrong with the book. So it works on both ends. You know, I mean, people tend to go the negative route quite a bit, unfortunately. But I think having clear set guidelines or what you're asking for or what you want to do in the auction goes a long way. I try to have rules on mine, you know, as far as where I ship to, when I ship it out, what I'm using to ship it. Mm-hmm. Those are all major things. What I'm looking for as far as information, name, address, all that stuff.
Sure.
Clear set guidelines go a long way.
Setting expectations.
Expectations, yeah. And, if there is a refund that needs to be given, okay, show me why I need to give the refund, and I'll be more than happy to do it, if that's the case. Or if you feel as though it's not what you wanted. Or also, even if you, change your mind, have a little leeway. It's like, hey, I won this auction, but maybe I thought about it, maybe I don't want it. If you just let me know, it works for me, not a problem.
Absolutely.
But I think clear guidelines go a long way for online auctions, especially if you're new to doing auctions and you're new to buying from auctions.
Yeah, I would agree. The other piece of this that he's talking about is reputation. Understanding that there are people out there that you trust that can tell you who's good and who's not.
Yeah.
And also, the habits of a particular person who is auctioning go a long way too. That lends to reputation.
Yeah.
You mind if I tell a story real quick?
Go ahead.
So I was part of your auction at one point, right? I did the one auction with you, and when we were shipping the books the next day, I messed up, right? I had a book that was sitting behind another, and I shipped that off to somebody, and that book belonged to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad. And I
remember.
Yeah, I wanted to make it right. Yeah. I wanted to do everything, but really, the thing that I loved and what really came out was, this was your auction, this is your show, and you took the initiative on it to make sure that person understood that they would be taken care of, that we would make it right.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciated the level with which you went through it, because that spoke to your reputation, and I think your reputation is something that is, everybody that I know would agree in, you're legit. And it's because of things like that. It's because of things that you do, right? Because you do take care of your customers. You don't want anybody to feel like, you're going to leave them hanging or anything like that. Now, that situation worked out great.
Yeah.
We ended up getting the book back from the other person and sending it to him. But, it really spoke to who you are, and I really appreciated the level that you went to make sure that people were taken care of.
Well, I mean, mistakes happen. It just happened. It was a Secret Wars number 8. Kind of a key book.
Kind of a key book.
And
signed by Shooter, too.
Yeah, signed by Jim Shooter. And it went to someone else who bought some books in the auction, some X-Men books that are, as far as value-wise, and they weren't even close. Mm-hmm. And I knew it went to 3 people. That book went to one of 3 people. Yeah. And I contacted all 3, and luckily one of the guys got back to me and said, yep, it's in the box. It's here with the books I bought. And then I said, you know what, if you could do me a favor, send it back to me and stuff, I'll pay for the shipping and get everything, or Bob paid for it. And so it was sent back, and then I contacted the gentleman who bought the book and immediately refunded him. He was the very first thing. It was like, once I realized it was gone and I couldn't send it out to him because we didn't know what the outcome would be if we got it back, I got in contact with him and said, here's the deal. I think it was shipped to the wrong person. I don't have it. Let me give you a refund right now. I just want to make sure your money is back in your hand. And I said, if we get the book back, I will let you know. And if you're still interested, we will take care of it. Yeah. And he was like, okay, sounds good. And luckily, like I said, everything worked out, and, it's just mistakes, you know. But I know you were like, oh God, you felt so horrible.
I did, man,
because it was like your first one.
It was my first one. It was your show. It's your auction, and I don't want anybody, to look at you in the wrong way. And I felt bad for the guy. Yeah. And then I also kind of felt bad for the person who got the book that had to go through all these extra steps. Yeah. So I was just like,
I think we sent them some extra stuff. I think we sent both of the gentlemen some extra stuff. Yeah. But, it just goes to show you, because I didn't know what the response would be. Just saying, hey, by chance, did you get a copy of Secret Wars number 8? Right. And the kindness in someone is like, yeah, I did. I mean, they didn't. I mean, that person that could have said, nope, I didn't get it. Yeah. But they didn't. You did the right thing, and that's awesome. I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping for, because I knew that could have been a scenario to where somebody did get it, and I didn't get it. Sure. That could have been the case, and then that's why we refunded the guy right away. Yeah, yeah. But it all worked out.
It worked out.
Everyone is happy.
But it does speak to reputation, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
You're up next.
I'm up next. This is copy 801. Says online comic auctions are legitimate for the most part as long as the seller shows the books they are auctioning live and goes through the condition, cover, spine, etc. is fine. I have watched many online auctions on YouTube and have not seen anyone get ripped off. More often, I have seen the same book go up for auction 2 weeks in a row because the original winner did not pay for it.
Yeah.
That's happened.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a couple. Actually, there was a stretch of Immortal Hulk books that lasted 3 auctions. And they were all bid on, and they were all won for an auction, and nobody paid for them for 3 straight auctions.
That just blew me away.
Yeah. And, I mean, I get that some people are in the moment, or maybe just, I don't know, maybe it's a kid. I don't know, who's bidding on this stuff. But if you're buy something, and obviously if there's more than one bidder, and one thing I've been trying to do when I do auctions, I keep track of the second place bidder and write that name down as well.
Sure.
And whatever their bid was. So if the winner does not pay, like I said, that's happened. It usually happens like once per auction. Every auction I've done, there's been at least one that wasn't paid for. No more than 2, but always at least 1. And so I started keeping track of the names, and I think it's very important to do that. And like I said, if you bid on something, and if you win it, and if for some reason you don't have the money or change your mind, let me know. Or let that auctioneer know. Say, hey, man, could you wait till Wednesday? Or unfortunately, I can't do it. Don't leave them hanging.
Absolutely.
Because I will tell you this. If you make that a common practice, this community will call you out.
Yeah, they will.
And you will be known as the bidder who is not paying for your books. You don't want to be known as that person, That's the thing. So pay for the books or let the auctioneer know that it's just not going to happen. And if that's the case, no harm, no foul.
Right.
And then me personally, I would just go to the second person down and say, hey, if you'd like these books for your last highest bid, here you go. They're available. The person passed on them.
Yeah.
But it does happen. And, so you got to be aware of that. And a lot of times you'll see, like I said, you'll see bids in there that you recognize them and you're like, no problem.
Right.
And then sometimes I've seen bids from people who have bought from me before, and then they bought from me again and never paid. And I'm like, man, this guy's bought like 3 times from me, and all of a sudden he bid on like 4 different things.
Right.
Won all 4, and then he never paid, and I haven't heard from him since.
I always wonder if they just maybe forget about it.
Well, I'm hoping nothing happened to him. That's where I go. I'm like, hoping they didn't get in a car wreck or something. But, it happens. It is what it is. But obviously, I save those books, and I resell them later, and eventually they get, bought and taken care of.
Absolutely. But, bottom line is it comes down to courtesy as well. Yeah. I mean, you're auctioning the books, and you tell people on your stuff. Sometimes you're auctioning stuff because you got to pay for your dang car.
That's exactly what it is. The only reason I'm doing auctions is to pay for bills.
Right.
I mean, I'm not doing them for any other reason than because I have to pay for something.
Yeah.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't be doing the auctions.
True.
I actually don't like doing them.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, they're not actually something I mean, not that I don't enjoy doing them, but I'd rather make a video than sell some of my books. Now, you've been with me, and I've actually went to places just to buy for the auction.
Yes.
It's like I went to this place, every single book I bought was literally just for the auction, and that's the way I looked at it.
Right.
That's really hard for me.
I know. Great point, though. What's the next one here, buddy?
This is from Chubby Pop Chaser. It says, I think auctions are legit because you don't have to bid or buy it if you don't want it. Rather, online raffles can get quite sketchy, where they overprice the book and take full advantage of wanting to spend only a couple bucks for that $100 comic. Okay, raffles. I've never done a raffle. I've never participated in a raffle, but it's kind of in the same lines as an auction. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I got to take it back. I did do a raffle. I bought something in a raffle. That's right. I bought like the whole run of Immortal Hulks. Somebody was doing a raffle, Kelly, and she had like 10 spots at $3 a spot. And I said, I'll take all 10. So, I mean, it really made it simple.
Sure.
So I knew I was going to win. So it's like $30 for like the whole number 1 through 25 of the Immortal Hulk first prints. Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal at all.
Yeah. But what is your take on raffles? Because I kind of see those as, because I see them all the time on mainly Instagram.
Right.
And, 10 spots, only one person's going to be happy. Because the other 9 people just wasted $10 or $15 or whatever it is. So that's never appealed to me at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I think it depends on what's actually being raffled. If it's something that you're putting out there that's the modern age, and it's an item that's within a couple $100, and you're basically putting down 10, 20, or $30 as your ticket.
Yeah.
That to me is a true gamble, and it doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
But there's books out there that I'll never be able to get. I mean, well, at least not in my current means, right?
Sure.
I'd have to do a whole bunch to be able to get that Fantastic Four #5 first appearance of Doctor Doom. That's thousands of dollars. But there was a guy on Instagram that was auctioning, the opportunity to be able to get in on Fantastic Four #5, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so I threw some money down on it. Not a lot.
Did you win?
Nope. But I didn't mind that because I had a chance to get something that I probably never would, and the price that he was putting it out there at wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing about raffles. I think that those are really easy to take advantage of people.
I think so too.
I think it's really easy to say, "Oh, you didn't win," and then that's it. Because I mean, most raffles are not in real time.
Right.
Okay, they're spread over a certain time period, and it's really easy to say, "Oh, this person won," and then who knows?
Yeah.
To where an online auction, it's real time. You see the people bidding and whatnot. You're interacting with that person. So I think those are a little bit more legit. So that's one of the things that raffles have never appealed to me, is because how do you know? How do I know if that's a real raffle? How do I know if that person's even drawing a name or sending that book out? I don't know.
Right.
And he just had 10 people give him $15 for a book. So personally, I stay away from him unless like I said, I know the person. Kelly's a really good friend of mine. I've bought books from her in the past, auctions, all sorts of stuff, and we chat every now and then. So I don't have a problem going through her. And obviously, it all goes back to reputation, like you were saying before.
Right. Absolutely.
I got the next one as well. This is from Scott Neely. It says, online auctions, YouTube. I don't have the patience to... Okay, hold on. Online auctions, YouTube. I don't have the patience to wait until they show something awesome on YouTube. That's what YT stands for. I occasionally watch them. I prefer to hit eBay. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I cannot stand. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but those marathon auctions are extremely hard to watch. There is so much just like what's going on, and a lot of people watch them. Don't get me wrong, but man, they get bogged down.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, and especially if you have just like a dozen sellers on there. And here's the thing, and this is the thing that drives me nuts, okay? They go around like a round table, like it's his turn, okay? And like before you get back to the guy who started, it's like an hour later. Okay? And then you get back to the guy who started, and literally it's his turn next, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to sell." It's like, what have you been doing for the last 45 minutes?
Right.
I don't get it. It's like you've had plenty of time to prepare.
Right.
And all this stuff, you've been over here and you watch me do my auctions. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are organized.
All set up, ready to go.
They're by lots. They are numbered. They are everything. Everything's good to go. And it's gotten better over time as I've kind of figured out how to do it.
Right.
But, man, these 8-hour, marathon auctions, I like watching because I like some of the people involved.
Sure.
I enjoy the people and kind of interacting with them a little bit.
Yeah.
But, man, as a consumer, if I'm going there to buy books, that's got to be rough.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple out there that I really enjoy only because of the people, just like you said.
Yeah.
And I know that as they're, going around the table for their auction, I'm going to watch some cool conversation happen because that's what these guys do, right? But bottom line is for most of them, when I see multiple sellers on there, I immediately just go past it. If I'm there looking to actually buy something or look at the auction, I let it go because I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see one maybe two people, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But because of the way the lag issues happen and all those other type of things that go into it, as soon as I see that you got more than two people, I'm gone.
It's crazy. And one thing, This is the auction. This is the glare. I can't get the glare. This is, I mean, they spend like the first 5 minutes trying to get the thing.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a problem for everybody. I mean, you have it as well. I mean, it took me about a year to figure out how to do books with no glare.
Right.
And I take a lot of pride in the fact that there's never any glare. I've even done videos to where like the camera is like 2 inches away from the book and there's no glare.
That's crazy.
It took a long time.
That's crazy.
The easiest thing to do is set up a stand ahead of time and just adjust it until you get no glare, and then use that stand in your videos.
Right.
Because that bugs me as well.
I can't tell you how many times I was getting ready for a live stream and I'm trying to set things up so that I don't have any glare, and I'll use up that whole hour and then be late. It and it still doesn't look good.
Exactly. Bob, you got the next one.
All right, the next one comes from Shortbox Padawan. I have a double view as I do both. I started just as a buyer for almost a year and then branched out. As a buyer, I love being able to have online auctions as you're able to reach and connect with people all over with the same interest and find some amazing deals. As a seller, I've been able to offer people the chance to get books at really good prices, as some folks don't have access to an LCS and online is their only way to get comics. While that being said, you need to be cautious and get word of mouth for a good seller, because there are some untrustworthy people on any platform. I would agree.
Yeah. She mentions just the community involvement.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of people doing these auctions, and it's kind of cool because, I mean, like she said, she started out, a buyer. She's doing her own auctions. I've watched both. I've seen her bid on stuff. I've watched some of her auctions. You can get some really good deals from her.
Yeah.
But you meet a lot of people. And that's kind of fun. That's one of the fun things about this auction. We just kind of rattled on the long auction, the 8-hour marathon ones. You do get to meet a lot of great people. Sure. And like I said, when I go visit those auctions, I'm not there to buy. It's there because I like the people who are involved.
Right.
And that's the reason I'll hang around for a little bit and say hello. The other thing is, a lot of people they don't have LCSs, or their LCS is closed or something like that, and a lot of people just buy books online.
Yeah.
And this is a great option to buy books and to know the face behind those books. If you buy books off eBay, you're just looking at the picture of the book.
That's right.
You're just looking at what they wrote, and that's it. You do not put the face to the book.
No.
Online auctions, you know me, you know Billy from Economics and Comics, you know Thorough from Thorough Kuburo, all the other guys, you know them. You can contact them. You can leave a comment, and they'll respond. Knowing the person, seeing them face to face, and interacting with them goes a long way, and it makes you feel more comfortable to be able to buy from them.
Absolutely, and I would agree. Community-wise, I have met a lot of people inside of the chats. Here's 2 people inside of your auctions. That's kind of where I met Hack. That's also kind of where I met Two Gun Pedro. Yeah. And I've formed some great relationships just being inside of those chats. I don't get to be in a lot of them because of how busy I am, but the ones that I have gotten into, that's how I've gotten to know the community. But just like we were saying, I mean, reputation goes a long way. And you get to be able to see the face, put it to the comic book, and 9 times out of 10, people like you, people like Thorough, people that are doing these things, they're part of the community, and you're going to know that. And I think that goes a long way. And reputation always speaks for itself. Yeah. And if somebody's not legit, you're going to hear about it really quick.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
It spreads like wildfire. Didn't we meet because you bought something in my auction and I went to deliver it to you at the coffee shop?
No, I reached out to you in email first and said, hey, I think you live close to me because
I'm outside your door.
Right. Who's that guy that's sitting on my lawn all the time?
Okay, then.
But it was that first week you had an auction, and the second time we met was picking up books.
There you go. All right, you got the next one as well. It's from Don Dizzle.
Don Dizzle. Don says, I buy off a few different auctions on YouTube, and they're legit, especially some smaller ones because less people to bid against. Also, they know how to ship since they collect, unlike most eBay sellers.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Shipping is so important. And the most awkward thing to ship is comic books because they're flimsy and they get damaged. It's all about condition.
For sure.
But shipping is so important. And, our buddy Tom has done videos on horrible shipping or something like that.
I've seen them.
It's always amazing to see, like, oh, they shipped it in an envelope and stuff, you know. And you know, depending on your mail service provider, I mean, my mail lady who delivers my packages, she throws them onto my porch. I mean, I'll watch her walk up and then throw the box about 12 feet onto my porch. She's got great aim, but they're being tossed all the way up to. She doesn't want to go up the steps, you know, so she just tosses it. Whatever, it is what it is. I don't really care. You know, that's just.
I love how positive you are. You're gonna throw my comic books up 12 feet. She's got great aim.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't care. You know, conditions not really. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I know.
But shipping the books, like I said, is really important. And most online, you know, auctioneers who sell books on the YouTube, they are collectors. Yeah. And they're going to ship it how they want to receive it.
For sure.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't get damaged in the shipping process, but I'm pretty confident on our end, and people who are selling books who are doing YouTube content, they're going to package it the right way. Yeah. And then hopefully the UPS or whoever you use takes good care of it and it gets to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
On all my auctions, and that actually kind of goes back to the rules and guidelines. You know, I set that, you know, everything is mailed out in a Gemini mailer. That's really the best way to ship any comic books is use a Gemini mailer. You can get them pretty cheap if you order straight through them. Mm-hmm. So they go out in a Gemini mailer, they're packed up, and then they go in a legal prepaid envelope, which is around $7 to $8. And that's it. I mean, that's the best way to ship a comic book. For sure. Is through those Gemini mailers. I've always used those on auctions. Every time I have an auction, that's what I use, is the Gemini mailers. When I send out my Bueller boxes, right now I'm just doing the media mail, and I wrap them really good in bubble wrap. And then this box that fits books really well. And that's kind of what I use for those. But for auctions, because mainly auctions tend to have, you know, some more valuable books. Yeah. You know, I've had books sell for over $100. I want to make sure that those are taken care of, and protected, because, you know, if someone's going to shell out $100 for one book, it's a big difference between shelling out, you know, $10 for 10 books.
Absolutely.
So want to make sure everything is okay. But shipping goes a long way. And real quick, there are some Bueller boxes available. I forgot to mention that. If anyone wants them, right now, since shops are back open, I can have like a regular supply of Bueller boxes. I'm going to try to have just a handful of boxes available pretty much all the time. So if you're looking for some Bueller boxes, you can buy them. The link is down below. They're like $14 plus shipping. So there you go. All right, so I have the next one. This one is from Eric Mena. Says, I think it's a little fishy, but I like to believe people are honest on how much their comics are worth. But I know I've seen some dollar books going for $20 to $30. I've seen that too. I've actually watched an auction to where I've sold a book for like $3, and that person is pushing that thing at $20. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I go, that book is not worth that much price. And I told you when we were doing an auction, set your prices, the lowest price you think it is, what you're comfortable for getting. Right. Because if it's just one bid, that's what it's going to sell for. So whatever you're comfortable for getting for that first bid, that should be your set price. Right. But I've seen some really high ones. Now, on the flip side of that, I was selling some books, and for some reason, and I had no idea, they were going for a lot. And I'm like, why is these books selling for so much? And I'm like looking at, and it wasn't just one bidder, it was like multiple bidders. And I did not realize what I was selling. Mm-hmm. And it was my fault because I did not do the research and realize that one of those books was a really key book. And alone, it was like an $80 book. And here I'm selling this lot of like 8 books for like $8. Right. So I'm like looking at it, like trying to figure out what's happening. And it was just my own misinformation. Sure. And I actually, at the end of that, I was like, man, I felt bad. Because I still didn't know that one of those books was a key book. Oh, my gosh. And then I, like, mailed a bunch of extra books because I was like, man, this person really overpaid. And then later down the line, I figured out that one of those books was like an $80 book. Wow. So it kind of goes both ways. But I do see the prices get inflated sometimes. Yeah. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Sure. And I'm not the only one who said that. Other people have said that in auctions as well. So why is that book selling for so much? It doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of times when the prices go like that is because the people who are bidding on it just don't have those books available to them like a lot of people do.
Yeah. I've seen a few different things when it comes to bids. Like there's one guy out there who'll take books that are, mid-grade condition. You're definitely not mint condition, and he'll look at the book and he'll say, "This is a mint condition book," and he'll say, "That's about a $40 book. I'll sell it today for $20."
Yeah, and
that's where he'll start his bidding. And that's actually where he wants the book, but everybody thinks they're getting a good deal.
Yeah.
And so they start bidding on it, and then he ends up getting more than what it's actually worth.
Sure.
I've watched that happen quite a few times.
That's a good salesman right there. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, your goal is to sell books.
Right.
If you're doing an online auction, you want to sell books. I look at it as just like you're selling your car. If you're going to sell your car, you're not going to put it for sale right after you went through the mud in it. You're going to polish it up, make it look really nice. You're going to clean it out. You're going to put some air fresheners in there so it doesn't smell like filet of fish.
Right.
You want to put your best presentation up forward. Same thing when selling books, man.
Yeah, I
clean
agree
it
with
up,
that.
put it in a new bag, oversell it, don't lie about it.
Right.
But
I agree, but I'm bringing it up because understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you get it and it's not the mint grade that you thought it was, now you know what's going on.
No, I get it. I got the last one here, and this one actually is from Comic Connor. Again, he had a comment last week, Comic Connor 101. He says, when it comes to comic auctions, all I can say is reputation, and again, reputation.
Yeah.
Only do auctions when you are 100% sure the source is reliable. There are scammers in all industries, and comics are not excluded from that. If the seller is reputable, then auctions can be a ton of fun for all parties involved.
Yeah.
We hit on the reputation from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
And it really does come down to reputation. And it literally takes a second for you to ruin a reputation. So it's really important that you're honest and you show your books, you describe your books, clear pictures of the book. That's really important to me when I put my books on there so you can see them and see what they are. I tend to undersell my books. A lot of people have said these are a lot better than what you said they were.
Yeah.
And and I will just say this. That's my biggest problem with me doing auctions. I hate sitting there and looking at a book and saying, man, if I don't describe this the right way, I would hate for someone to get something that they thought was not up to par from what I said. And that's my biggest hesitation about doing auctions, because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is truthful and people will look at things different ways. Like, I'll look at a book and to me, I think it looks great. And then the person who buys it, man, it doesn't look great, and you kind of, that's the scenario that comes out, and I worry about that all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I send out a book, I'm like, man, did I oversell it? Did I undersell it or something? Is this up to par with what they want? I don't know. And that I haven't done an auction for quite a while, and really that mindset kind of got to me, and that's really why I haven't done an auction.
Sure.
Because I'm always a little worried about what I mail out, and I want that customer to be happy.
Yeah.
Because it is your reputation. It is my reputation on the line.
Right.
If there's a problem, I'll take care of it. I've said that from the very beginning on whatever it is, whether it's one of my boxes or an auction or whatever. I try to do the right thing.
Sure.
And it goes a long way. But he's definitely right. Connor is absolutely right. 100% reputation. Do a little bit of research, and if this person is reputable, you can have a great time. And it's a great auction, and you can find some good deals. You bought in tons of stuff. You bought in stuff for me and then sold it for more later on the line. I remember. But, it does. It's all about reputation and knowing their track record and stuff like that. And reputation, like I said, goes both ways. Absolutely. It goes for the seller and the buyer.
Yep.
The buyer has to have a good reputation. They can't be just stiffing the people that they're bidding on or whatnot. And the seller has to have a good reputation of shipping, of describing the book, delivering on time, all that stuff. That all accounts for something. So
this is true. This is true. You can also, in a second, overinflate somebody's reputation as well.
Yeah.
Like if I buy a bunch of low-grade X-Men books and I get a Secret Wars number 8 signed by Jim Shooter, that guy's great.
that was not an A-OK.
Well, that comic karma, I love it.
Yeah, man, I love that guy, Bob.
But I agree with you, man, 100%.
Yeah. Set your expectations. If you're a buyer, have a budget. don't drink too much alcohol while you're in that 8-hour marathon auction.
Right.
Because by the end of it, you just spent $100 for a $2 book. And like, oh, that's cool. What are you going to do? But anyway, I don't know if we're planning on doing an auction anytime soon. I haven't really thought about it. If I do, it'll probably be, I don't know, maybe next month if at all. I don't know. We'll see how things pan out in the future. But for the most part, people have been pretty positive about the auctions we've done.
Yeah.
And
I miss your auctions, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed having you there that one, even though you shipped the wrong book out. But I mean that's all right.
Remember that time?
Yeah. Oh crap. Anyway, let's shift gears and get to our final 5.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll go first. Let me get these back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just grabbed some other books. This is some great Alex Ross cover, Captain America #8.
Love that cover.
I know. It's so good. This is Marvel Tales Classic Spider-Man 224. This is a great McFarlane cover, and McFarlane did a bunch for the Marvel Tales, just the cover itself.
Right.
And there's like 20 of them, and they're all really nice. Here is Scooby Apocalypse #4. This is a Jim Lee cover. Jim Lee did the covers.
I dig that one, too.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. This is the Del Auto cover. I like that one.
I love Del Auto's work.
And we haven't seen enough Liefeld lately, so I figure we might as well put this monstrosity up on the shelf. This is Justice League #19.
Nice.
There you go. I actually really enjoy it. I don't care what people say. You know what? It is what it is, and I'm lucky to have it in my collection.
There you go.
So there you go. Thank you, Rob Liefeld. I love it. All right, you're up.
All right. And true to form, back to doing what I normally do, bringing some Daredevil.
Yep.
I picked up some Silver Age stuff here recently, a couple of Bronze Age. I got Daredevil #26, nice stilt man there. I got Daredevil #136, good old Jester action. And then I got issue #118. Then #102, the Jerry Conway era.
Nice.
And then I got this one just the other day, issue #30 with the Mighty Thor on the cover. I love that cover.
Well, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
How's your Daredevil collection going?
It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I mean, I still got a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I try to pick up a little bit every now and then. The two main ones I'm trying to collect right now are my run of Spawn and filling my holes in my Daredevil collection, and then there's some Flash ones I want to pick up. That's kind of what I'm focusing on. But you know, things come in all the time.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Do you know what issue when Daredevil had his new red costume?
Issue #6.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
I don't know.
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
It was on my video.
Was it?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I tried. It was on your video.
I might be wrong.
I think it's issue 6.
Issue 6. I thought it was 8.
Was it 8?
I don't know. You're supposed to know. But look how easy I can make you think about it.
I know.
That's kind of interesting.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, there you go. You know, so that's it. That's our final 5. We had a great conversation. Like I said, we're not going to have a coffee video next week.
Right.
Both of us are. I'm going to be out of town. Bob has some obligations to take care of.
Yeah.
But we will be back the week after with our regular coffee video. And it should be a great conversation. And I might as well just put the topic out right now.
Sure.
Our topic is going to be market manipulation and what that details, and is it going on comic book market manipulation? And so we'll pose that question here in a couple weeks.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and we'll see what people have to say. And who knows, maybe it might be something else, because there might be some more news that pops up that we have to talk about. Like Marvel has decided to only ship books to Barnes & Noble, or so. I don't know. Who knows?
2 weeks is a long time.
Yeah, the spinner racks are coming back. I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see.
For sure.
But Bob, you are 50 subscribers away from 1,000. Why don't you tell them about your channel a little bit?
So my channel is Everything Comics. I usually have a coffee and comics video that drops usually on Saturdays. This week's episode dropped actually on Sunday. But going forward, I do have a lot of stuff planned. I'm going to be interviewing the people who let me film there at the Refuge Coffee House, which I think is going to be great. And I mean, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. But bottom line is, 50 subscribers away from 1,000. I can't believe how quick I've gotten there. I appreciate you guys supporting the show, and thank you, man, for helping me get there.
Sam pointed this out to me the other day. What happened to our Thursday show?
Yeah,
I mean, Bob always says, I got a lot of stuff planned. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks again to all the Patreons who are supporting the channel. Don't forget to check out Pop Culture Philosophers later this week. I believe it's on Thursday. I'll be on there with Rock and Robbie, one of our favorite guys to hang out with.
That's my homie.
Yeah, and you know what? This was a great time, great conversation, and we will see you soon. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next week, or maybe in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye.